Hey guys, I like sitting in the kitchen in this little chair. So this is a little video about me. So as you guys know, my grandma raised me from 10 to 18. So when I got 18, I went to DePaul University in Chicago. I went to the business school of accounting. It was a really good school. You know, my mom has a lot of children, so my grandmother thought in her way of helping, it would be like, hey, I can just take on Seville. When you have a lot of children, it's hard to give everybody individual attention, to take care of all of them at the same time, the way that all of them deserve. So with that being said, I love my mother, right? I'm not gonna bash anyone, but I also think that my grandmother did a fantastic job of raising me. I am a first generation college graduate. I went for accounting because I felt that accounting was something that I enjoyed. The high school I went to was a private school. I went to 3 high schools. My first high school that I went to was like a high school and middle school mix. I went from 5th grade to 9th there, and that school has switched over to another name, and then 10th grade was the same place. It was the same place, location, but they changed the school name just a little bit. So really from 5th to 10th, it was the same school. It was okay. I enjoyed like my teachers and stuff. The children, some kids were kind, but the environment or the kind of school that I was in, my grandmother, eventually we were looking around for a better environment, not only because we knew that I was going to go to college either to be a lawyer or to do something. This next school that I went to, the private school in 11th and 12th grade, the children were a little nicer because the neighborhood from before, it was like a different neighborhood. It was kind of like more ghetto, to where people are a product of environment. Everybody wants to be single moms, and then they wanted to be just cool kids, if I can say it like that, right? Not trying to offend anyone. I'm just being transparent. So versus 11th and 12th grade, the school that I went to that allowed me to go to college and, more college bound and preparatory school, the private school, set me up to where I knew how to do papers. The math courses were a little bit more rigorous, of like, oh, we're on top of this. My AP English class I had in 11th grade, I went to regular English in 12th because I'm like, hey, this AP English is something else. I ended up getting certain classes out of the way from the school I went to 10th grade. Oh, let me go back a little. The 10th grade school that I went to was different. So from 5th to 9th, there was one school. 10th grade, they had changed the name, but I was like, okay, I'm tired of this school. Went to a school that was okay. It was like in a different neighborhood. I was just like, okay, I can do like 1 year here. And if I would have stayed at that school, then I probably would have graduated. Since I was 10th grade, I could have did 11th and 12th. But again, the environment wasn't as good as the private school. It was a little more calming and a little more accepting of intelligent children. So that's why I always think that people need to change their environment, right? When you are valued somewhere, switch your environment. So I could have graduated valedictorian from that school because, first of all, some kids didn't try. Second of all, I was on top of a game as far as grades and learning. Even though things might have been a little difficult, I'm gonna do what I can because that's what we're at school for. So 11th and 12th grade, I went to a private school. I loved it. Whatever my grandma had to pay out of pocket, we just did that, roll with it. I used to get the bus to school, and then sometimes I got a ride. So like once in a year. So I used to get the bus home. Sometimes I used to walk home. I didn't have too many problems at that school. That's the school I wanted to graduate from. We had uniform. What else? So we had like different activities that we can do different than when I was in a Black community with Black children, majority, right? Nobody get offended. I'm just telling my story, right? So versus when I was at a school with a majority white people, a few Black people, Hispanics, and Asians, you get the better opportunities. This is just me telling my story, right? So I appreciated that environment, which pushed me to feel comfortable when I went to Chicago, where it's different, a variety of different people, backgrounds, etc., versus in a school of all Black people. It's better to be in a school with diversity so that you can see how the real world works. So I went 4 years to DePaul University. I enjoyed that school. It was the Driehaus College of Business. I used to take pictures all the time when I went. It's just beauty, as far as not just Chicago, the Loop, the buildings. I mean, the structure of the school, the students. I didn't have no problem at all when I went there for 4 years. I was a commuter, so I went back home a lot. I didn't stay on campus. Campus all loud, etc. But I could focus more at home. So graduated, and now I had an accounting position that I had for about 4+ years, and now I'm in the position I am now. So yeah, that's a little bit of backstory with me. So I'm grateful that my grandmother got me at 11 and then helped the trajectory so that I can be a first generation college graduate. And then I can set myself up for, if I ever do want children, I'm going to set them up for nothing but success, right? We don't want to repeat the vicious cycle of everyone doing the same thing, right? We don't want you to just have a job. We want you to have a career, right? We want, and if after you get done with your career, just going up from there. So that's just my take on it. You don't have to go to school to be successful. You work with what? You work with your talents and what God will give you. So yeah, that's a little bit of backstory. Hopefully y'all like this video. Leave a comment. Bye. Thank you.